Hello, beautiful soul. This is your energy forecast for the week of November 9th through November 15th. I'm Portia with Soul Card Studio, and welcome to week 46. So buckle up, because this week is going to invite you to go deep. We are guided by the seven of Spades, which is a card of spiritual mastery, faith under fire, and divine timing. Now, the Seven of Spades has a reputation for being one of the most spiritual, challenging cards in the deck. But here's what you need to know. This card isn't here to break you, it is here to build you. It's about trusting the process when you can't see the outcome, and about surrendering control and discovering the power within. So it's about faith, but not of the easy kind, but the kind that is forged through fire. And this week, well, the universe is really going to be testing us with Mercury headed into retrograde on November 9th, which is Sunday. And also, we're still feeling the effects of the supermoon in Taurus from last week. So, again, this energy is inviting you to release what you cannot control. And this is one of those experiences that we're going to be going through this week, where you won't get all the answers, but that's the point. So let's dive in. Let's talk astrology this week, because honestly, there is a lot happening. The sun's still in Scorpio until November 21st, and so we're still traveling through transformation, truth, and emotional depth. And the Scorpio energy does not let you stay on the surface. It asks, what are you really feeling, and what needs to be released? Now, the headline this week is really that Mercury goes into retrograde back in the Taurus on Sunday on November 9th. So this is going to be the final Mercury retrograde of 2025, and this is not just about tech glitches, y'all, or travel mix-ups. It's about retrograde in Sagittarius. So it's going to ask you questions about your beliefs, your world views, and your personal truth. So whose story are you living? Is it yours or is it someone else? This will come to surface during this time. And then on November 18th, Mercury is going to slide back into Scorpio, which is going to add an additional layer of emotional intensity and deep introspection. So it's going to reveal some hidden truths, and some old conversations are going to reappear, so watch out for that. Now, Mercury is going to stay retrograde into November 29th, and so it's going to be crazy this month, y'all, so just buckle up because Jupiter actually stations retrograde in Cancer on November 11th. So as you're, seeking out to validate yourself, you need to trust your inner wisdom. And the moon is going to move through this week, and it's going to guide us to release and integrate and let go. So here's the rhythm of the week as far as the moon. So the moon phase for the week on Sunday, November 9th, the moon is in Cancer. So there's going to be deep feelings and emotional honesty. So this is the perfect time to journal, reflect, and nurture yourself. Then Monday through Tuesday, the moon is traveling through Cancer to Leo. So we're going to move from introspection to self-expression. Leo is the sun, right? So it likes to be bold and out there, whereas Cancer is more of a water sign. It's more about the home, family, being more introspective. So we're going to shift from inside to outside here. And so you need to share what you've been feeling. Then Wednesday through Thursday, the moon's moving from Leo to Virgo. So this is when your creativity turns practical, and you're going to organize your thoughts in your space, because Virgo is neat as a pin, right? So they like things to be organized. So that's that energy moving from the Leo energy, which is bold and creative. So now you're going to organize your creativity from here. Now, on Thursday, you have the last quarter moon in Virgo. So this is going to be the big release. And this is where you're going to have to let go of your perfectionism and your control, right? You have to surrender. And that's what the moon's going to call us to do in Virgo, the last quarter moon in Virgo here on Thursday. Now, Friday through Saturday, we have the moon traveling from Virgo to Libra. And so we're looking for a balance, harmony, and clarity through dialogue. So you'll probably find yourself wanting to have more open conversation and to be honest and be balanced during this time. So the moon is calling us to surrender what you cannot control and trust divine timing this week. So this week in numerology, we're still in universal month 2, right? November is 11, 1 plus 1 is 2. So of course, we're still in that vibration of partnership, intuition, and divine alignment. Now, this week of partnership actually extends itself to the universe because on day 2, which is November 9th, Sunday, we're in that double 2 energy. So this is known as the partnership day. And we have Mercury in retrograde happening as well. So it's best for you to listen more than you speak. And also partner with your divine self, your intuition, rather than your ego. Now, on November 10th, Monday, which is the day 3, we're in the energy of creativity and self-expression. So you're going to create through the retrograde reflection. So it'll be good for you to write, to paint, right, to express yourself in artistic ways, just taking advantage of that day 3 energy and also, reflection energy of the retrograde as well. Now, the big bang this week would be on Tuesday, November 4th, day 4, which is November 11th, right, 11/11, which is the day 4. So that's the foundation day, right? This is the day that you set your foundation and you have a cosmic boost because the 11/11 is a master portal for rebuilding your faith. So the Jupiter in retrograde asks, what foundation or belief do I need restructuring? Right? So this is a perfect time to get your journal out and start reflecting on what you need to rebuild and what do you have faith in, right? What are you building your faith on? Right? And so Tuesday is a great day to reflect on that. Now on Wednesday, which is a day 5, November 12th, it's going to ask for change and flexibility. So there may be some detours that appear. You're going to have to learn how to stay adaptable under this type of energy. And there could be an unexpected path that opens up that may be destiny for you. Now, on November 13th, which is day 6, harmony and responsibility will be the theme of that day. And then we have the last quarter moon that's going to echo peace comes through conscious release. Now, day 7, which is November 14th, which is Friday, we're going to be back on faith and reflection. So you're going to mirror the 7 of Spades, which is the card of the week, because we're going to be back on the day 7. So 7 energy is more of the introspection, the seeker right within. So you're going to go inward, probably meditate, so you can strengthen your connection with Source this week as well through that day 7 energy. Now we're going to wrap up the week on a day 8, which is on Saturday, November 15th, and that is the Power Manifestation Day. So after a week of surrendering, reflecting, now it's time to remember that you have the power to co-create and to take advantage of this energy and manifest whatever it is that you're trying to bring into your life on this day. So the week's theme goes from partnership to expression to foundation to change, then to harmony, then faith, and then we land back on power, which is the day 8 on Saturday. And so this is going to be a complete cycle of spiritual evolution this week. All right, so let's dive into the 7 of Spades, which is one of the most powerful 7s of the deck. Now, the 7 of Spades, some people fear this card. It's kind of an unwelcome card, but it just depends on the person. Because if you've been doing the work, then this card is for you. If you've been doing the spiritual work, let me clarify that, right? If you've been doing the spiritual work, then when you see this card, then you know that you're in good hands. But if you have not been doing the work and you're stuck in the material and mundane world and this card appears, just know this may mark a period of hardship for you, whether it's your plans for work or health. So the 7 of Spades embodies the conscious uplifted. It brings heightened awareness of its divine energies. And its message says, it brings success to anyone who is doing the spiritual work. Again, if you're doing the work, then this card is very welcome. If you're not doing the work, then maybe not so much. The high vibe expression of the Seven of Spades is spiritual awareness, enlightened conclusion, and visionary. Now, the shadow expression is self-sabotage. All spades can be workaholics, and so the seven is no exception. And then hypercritical, right? Because just the number seven itself, it tends to overanalyze, right? Tends to worry. So that goes part of the game with the seven of spades as well. So the seven of spades is also known as a card of spiritual mastery and faith through trial. And this is not surface level energy, y'all. This means you have to dig deep. And how appropriate, right, for the seven of spades to be this week in Scorpio season, because that goes hand in hand. So, this represents the moment you can't see the path forward, but you just keep walking anyway, right? You don't know where you're headed, but you just keep going down that path because you're going to wind up in the right spot as long as you follow your intuition with the seven of spades. Now, this also governs divine timing and invisible progress. So it reminds us that transformation is happening behind the scenes, even when our ego wants proof. So some of the expression this card can have is surrendering control and trusting divine timing, strengthening your faith and spiritual discipline, finding calm in the unknown, heightened intuition and psychic development. So this is a really great time to do your spiritual work this week, because that seven of spades is going to really support you in your endeavors. And you got to understand that waiting is not wasting, right? Sometimes you have to take the wait and see approach to see what's going to be right for you. And then you also have to look at delays as divine protection, because you never know what you may have been spared from, right, by this waiting. So the shadow expression of this card can come from worry, anxiety. Again, that's that seven energy. Sevens tend to worry a lot. They tend to overanalyze. They tend to overthink. So also you may try to force an outcome when it's not ready. Spiritual exhaustion, or maybe you're doubting your own faith, or you could just be losing faith altogether. And you could be isolating yourself, because again, that seven energy, it's not a lonely energy, but it's, how can I put this? Seven needs to be alone in order to do introspection, right? And so that number reflects someone who is alone by choice. And the reason is because you can't do spiritual development work with other people. It has to be within, right? You're talking about your inner guidance, your intuition, right? And everything I'm saying is in, and you have to go within. This is not a time to be outside socializing. So with that energy, you could isolate yourself. And so don't do that, right? Share your insights with others. Manage to actually communicate how you're feeling as well. And don't overanalyze or overthink a situation. So this seven of spades kind of appears that it's spiritual waiting periods. And those seasons may look very still, but guess what? There's a lot happening under the surface here. And so you have to ask yourself, can I trust the process even when it looks like nothing is happening? So with Mercury in retrograde, you're going to be asked to slow down anyway. So you're going to be reviewing and then integrating, but not really pushing ahead. So the mantra for this week regarding the seven of spades is, I surrender my timeline and trust divine timing. What's meant for me cannot miss me. So this is the real talk. If you've been forcing things, hustling, and trying to make things happen, don't do that, right? This ain't the week for that. Now, if you've been waiting on a sign, then this is it. And the seven of spades is preparing you for a breakthrough that you can't even see. But trust me, it is coming, right? So use this time to rest and reflect in the seven of spades energy, and also trust divine timing and trust the process. Now, this week, journal prompt. Now, typically I do give you guys a couple of journal prompts to really reflect on for the week. But since this week we have a lot of cosmic activity and Mercury's in retrograde, I'm going to settle on one prompt for this week. And this one is, what is Spirit trying to teach me through this waiting period? Because the retrograde period is not a time for action. It is a time for rest, reflection, introspection. And a lot of things may be delayed that you wanted, so I wouldn't push too hard during this time of the retrograde season, which is till November 29th. So I ask that you sit with this question. Don't rush the answers. grab your Divine Aligned journal and just start writing out what you feel. Because this week's Seven of Spades, it works through stillness and subtle revelation. So as you start to journal, you'll start to reveal some things about yourself. And don't be afraid to explore that shadow side of yourself as well, because we are in Scorpio season. So this is the most appropriate prompt that we have for the week is, what is Spirit trying to teach me through this waiting period? Rest and reflect. So here's your truth for week 46. Faith isn't believing that everything will work out your way. It's trusting that everything will work out the right way. And this week, the universe is asking you to surrender your timeline, your expectations, and your need to control outcomes. The Seven of Spades reminds you your job isn't to force. It is to align what is already unfolding for you. And this Mercury Retrograde was going to give you the gift of time to integrate, to listen, and to deepen your faith. This isn't a week of doing more. This is a week of being more. Be present, be patient, be faithful. And remember, the cocoon looks empty from the outside, but inside, transformation is in full bloom. So don't discount what is happening underneath the surface, right? There's a lot going on.
Ready to bring more magic into your everyday life? Explore the Divine Aligned Candle Collection. Each one is intentionally crafted to align with your personal energy and fill your space with peace, clarity, and purpose. Pair your candle with Divine Aligned Journal to document your manifestations, synchronicities, and spiritual insights. It's the perfect way to stay grounded while you grow. Also, join our Soul Car Studio Substack for free today and get your angel number tracker, which is a beautiful tool to help you understand the messages that the universe is sending you. And when you upgrade to a paid membership, you'll unlock early access to daily posts, my weekly energy videos, and exclusive access to Numi AI, your AI spiritual guide for personalized numerology. Visit soulcarstudio.com or click the link below to start your journey. Remember, your energy deserves to be aligned, and your soul deserves to shine.
Now remember, this week is about surrendering, right? It's not about giving up. It's about getting over, and giving over to something greater than fear. Now this week 46 is guided by the Seven of Spades. So may you find peace in the unknown, power in the pause, and faith in the unfolding. So stay radiant, stay aligned, and trust the process, but more importantly, trust yourself. I'll see you next week for week 47. Take care until then.